Hey there, welcome into the show. Happy Thursday, everybody. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr. Thank you so much for hanging out here with us. Coming up over the next several minutes, the Niners announcing multiple moves that the team has made within the organization. We're going to break all of those moves down for you here on the 49ers Report. But I do want to start with this. Just curious. Obviously, you're watching the Niners Report with yours truly, your fearless leader, Chase Sr. What other Niners content creators do you like watching? I'm so busy creating my own content, I don't watch a lot of other people. I hop on Larry Krueger's show every Friday, so I watch his stuff a lot. But I'm just curious who else you're tapped into. Drop me some names and some channels down in the comment section right now. As for the moves that the Niners have made today, Tariq Ahmad has been elevated to the Vice President of Player Personnel role. He played a big role in this Niners draft class and has been a huge member of this front office over the last few years. Jordan Fox becomes the new Player Personnel Scout. RJ Gillen is now an Assistant General Manager. So too is Brian Hampton as an Assistant GM. Benjamin Klein, Research and Development Performance Analyst. Jason Kwon, Pro Scout. Matt Ploenzke, Vice President of Football Research and Development. Shravan Ramamurthy, Manager, Football Research and Development. Corry Rush, Executive Vice President of Communications. And Ryan Shutta, Area Scout. Let's run through all of these elevations, promotions, and moves here on the show and what the Niners had to say about all of these individuals. For Ahmad has been promoted from Director of Player Personnel to Vice President of Player Personnel. He just finished his 11th season with the Niners and his first as Director of Player Personnel. In his role, Ahmad manages the daily operations of the college scouting department and their evaluations of players to help prepare for the draft and NFL free agency. We've talked about Ahmad a couple of times here on the show during the pre-draft process and the overall scouting process. He plays a huge role as far as who the Niners are interested in and draft as far as the new wave of young talent that the Niners bring in. For Jordan Fox, he has been promoted from player personnel analyst to player personnel scout. In 2025, he enters his second season with San Francisco. So a newcomer already gets a new title for the Niners. And a lot of people don't realize that within a football front office, within a football organization, there are so many people required to have a championship level organization that's run the way that the Niners are run. And say what you want about Jed York, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, this is one of the top organizations in the NFL. And if you were to talk about the class of the league, among the 32 teams, the Niners definitely are top 5. The Niners on RJ Gillen. Gillen has been promoted from Director of Player Personnel to Assistant General Manager. He finished his 10th season with the Niners and his first as Director of Player Personnel. In his role, he manages the daily operations of the pro scouting department and their evaluations of players among the various professional leagues to help prepare the club for acquisitions through free agency, trades, and the daily player transactional movement. Gillen also assists the coaching staff through his advanced scouting. So pretty in-depth there for Gillen. He has a role in trying to help this coaching staff, right? But also, he is monitoring what players are available, what players the Niners should target to bulk up their roster. And of note here, San Francisco now has 2 assistant general managers under John Lynch. Brian Hampton, he's been promoted from Vice President of Football Administration to Assistant General Manager. He just finished his 21st season with the Niners and his 5th as VP of Football Administration. He spent the previous 10 years, 2010 to 2019, as the Director of Football Administration and Analytics. Hampton also served as the team's manager of football operations for 2 seasons and as an analyst before that. Originally joined the Niners as a football operations intern in late 2003. In his role, Hampton is responsible for roster construction strategy, contract negotiations, strategic planning, and management of the club's player compensation budget and salary cap. So oftentimes we hear about Parag Marathe as the guy who is the strict negotiator as far as these contracts, but this is a guy who also plays a role with how the Niners do some of these deals and contract negotiations, and for how long he's been with this team. What a run with this organization. Benjamin Klein, next up, he has been hired as a research and development performance analyst. Joined San Francisco after holding multiple roles within Michigan State University men's basketball program, along with stops with the Major League Soccer's FC Cincinnati, the Chicago Bulls, and the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Can you imagine putting together your resume and you've been able to have stops in the MLS, Michigan State, the NBA, and other stops like that? I mean, what an incredible professional journey that he is on. For Jason Kwon, he has been promoted from scouting assistant to area scout. In 2025, he enters his 4th season with the San Francisco 49ers. This is a role right here. I've known some people who have done something similar. It requires some serious grinding, making a lot of sacrifices, putting in some long, hard hours. But really, when you're working at the NFL level, that's just the reality of it. Matt Ploenzke, he has been promoted from Director of Football Research and Development to Vice President of Football Research and Development. In 2025, he enters his 6th season with the 49ers. In his current role, he will oversee the research strategies for the personnel department and advises on methodological, did I say that right? I have no idea, approaches undertaken, a lot of syllables. His primary responsibilities involve developing player evaluation metrics, using advanced statistical techniques, and providing interpretations of these metrics to aid in roster acquisitions. And so the front office will rely on a guy like that from an analytical standpoint. I've always said this about analytics. It's not the end-all, be-all, but it's important. If you're running a business and you have access to data, analytics, and sports sabermetrics, and some of those numbers and those trends can help you out, use it to your advantage. Do you want to make every decision based on that? No. You got to rely on your stones. You got to rely on your gut, and you have to make human decisions as well. A healthy balance is always very important, but we've certainly seen the rise of analytics in professional sports. And then there's Shravan Ramamurthy. He has been promoted from football data scientist to manager of football research and development. In 2025, enters his 4th season with the Niners. How about this? Somebody asks you, hey, what do you do for a career? I'm a scientist. Oh, really? Where? What institute? I'm a scientist of football data. Corry Rush, he has been promoted from Vice President of Football Communications to Executive Vice President of Communications. In 2025, enters his 5th season with the Niners. In his current role, oversees the Football Communications and Community Relations departments. Of note there, he's the one who will basically start the press conferences for Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, and some players there. And the Niners PR department was ranked number 1 in the 2024 NFL season. Corry Rush, a part of that. Ryan Schutta, he's been promoted from Pro Personnel Analyst to Pro Scout in 2025. He enters his 2nd season with the 49ers. And let me just reiterate this, man. There are so many people who make a football operation possible. When and if the Niners win the Super Bowl, and they had that parade in San Francisco, you'll notice how many floats there are. And how many floats there are that don't include players. That's because people like this are littered throughout the entire organization, and that's why winning a Super Bowl is such a huge deal, because it truly is a collective effort. You think about the coaching staff, the front office, and the players, a football operation and an organization, so much more than that. So the Niners making all of those moves within the organization today. Look, whenever there's news around the Niners, we always have you covered. So be sure to hit that subscribe button today.